Hello, welcome to another Skull Plus video. Now I know, we're in Rec Room and stuff like that, but just ignore it because this is my natural domain. In today's video, it's a different VR video. We're actually talking about Bonelab and its newest patch 4 update. Now I've heard whispers here and there about things that are released inside this update, but we actually have patch notes. And I've heard that this has been a really anticipated update for a super long time. I don't really play Bonelabs, I've never played Bonelabs, I still can't bring myself up to spend $40 for Bonelabs, so I don't really know what a lot of the actual stuff they'll be talking about is, so let that just be a fair warning. As I cover more VR stuff, trust me, my knowledge will get more broader, but at the moment, I'm still a pleb. Anyways, on Steam, you guys can see the patch 4 update notes, player improvements, zones, SDK levels, and optimizations. Inside of patch 4, there's been 18 months of core development, which brings great performance increases, development optimizations, and a swath of game improvements. Slowly but surely, these under-the-hood changes have brought us from experimental ideation to tangible quality advancements for VR physics, interaction, and bone-style game development. They go on to say player rig improvements. The player rig has significantly progressed to become more physical, more performant, and feel better to control. Particular attention has paid to mantling, interaction with levels and lockers, small pops with interacting, aiming guns, recoil, adding a physical neck, and a physical twist bones in the upper arms, lower arms, and thighs. They also had SDK updates, and they also say patch 4 comes alongside a large update in the Marrow SDK geared specifically towards mod level creation. Play spawnables with ease now using dynamically loaded spawner preview meshes, and no more void message everywhere. This will even work with palettes created by other users. They then talk about zones. The zone system has been completely rebuilt, refactored, and reworked, also retooled for level creation, Marrow entity tracking, and performance optimization, and this basically all enables modders to seamlessly create high quality levels with more complex player involvement. For more information, you guys can see the updated Marrow SDK documentation, which they have a link to. They also have a bunch of GIFs showing off more of these zones and stuff like that. For this GIF specifically, Marrow entities have their states tracked while inside zones. This enables Marrow to coal/uncoal without hitching. This GIF showcases a zone cutting through other zones and seamless transitions between them. Once exposed in SDK, these tools will enable you to more easily set up interesting and unique level designs. And lastly, as you can see, as a player entity travels through linked zones, Marrow entities are brought in and out for greatly improved optimization management. Now they talk about spawnables. Spawnable dynamic objects fill the library of items you are now able to utilize in your level creation. By referencing the Bonelab palette of spawnables in your mod project, you can now place and spawn almost any Bonelab object the same way we can. Since these items are all Marrow entities, they are tracked and dynamically culled per zone of optimization. They also have a little note down here which says, since we know embarking on a massive Easter egg hunt for all the spawnable objects is a daunting project, a gashapon? Did I say that right? I hope so. Machine has been added to the endgame menu. This machine functions similarly to the Monomatch from Boneworks, and the ammo you have collected throughout Bonelab's campaign can be redeemed for unlockable objects you may have missed during your playthrough. They also have spawn gun usability. The spawn gun UI has been reworked to allow better sorting and filtering of downloadable mods. This should make things easier as a list of spawnable items and mods gets even longer. Now they also had a bunch of quality of life improvements, as you guys can see. Starting us off, they have box grips and barrel grips. They've had a pass on bug fixing and interaction cleanup. Previously, it was possible to run into an issue when grabbing a scaled box grip that would cause the hand to grab towards the root or center of the box/barrel rather than the spot the player intended to grab. Minor level adjustments have been made throughout the game to include massive collider fixes, misassigned physics and impact properties, fixes to zone connection issues, occlusion breaks, and light bakes. They have tons of further optimizations that have been made to rendering, loading, asset streaming, interaction set pieces, colliders, occlusion, nav mesh, textures, sounds, light maps, shaders, materials, fog, static batching, memory use, asset file size, and etc. etc. They also have mountains of bug fixes if you guys are interested, and gashapons are now destructible. You can shoot them, smash them, or bash them. Destroying them will unlock the spawnable item just as well as popping them normally. If you guys are interested in Mod.io, it is confirmed that you can now connect your Mod.io account directly downloaded to all subscribed mods. Though note that this will only download mods compatible with this Marrow SDK version and above. And you can still manually install older mods, but they will likely have problems if they haven't been updated. Now here's where the real patch notes start for patch 4. Specifically, when it comes to player rig improvements, they optimized hand poses and increased range of motion on some poses, physical neck, upper arm, lower arm, thigh twist have been added, level locker and joystick interaction was polished, shouldering pose added to tighten aiming and lean physics into shots, interaction while moving polished to remove pops, player stabilized to withstand greater forces, teleporting was also polished, and gun recoil was improved. Slow avatars are more slightly faster, mantling greatly improved. Movement while crouching has been improved, as effects have been added to hands when they slide on surfaces, significantly optimized performance, and tons of under-the-hood preparation for the player rig to be more separate as an NPC. They had a bunch of reworks, as you guys can see. They also had reworks to zones, marrow entities, layers, damage volumes, audio and mixes, spawnable props, LODs, particle FX, affordances, game control logic, object destructibles, trigger events, various UX, encounters, and encounter spawner groups. And also including NPC. We gotta, of course, include that. Feel free to pause and read if you guys are really interested in all of that stuff, but that's just all of the reworks they've done. They also had a bunch of bug fixes, which include the loot table off by 1 fix, respawn teleport points fixed and adjusted, highlighting tutorials on weapons fixed, create reference issues fixed, occultation culling fixes, double spawning objects fixed, UI alignment issues fixed, collider fixes game-wide, off-scale objects fixes game-wide, many textures fixed, many light probe issues fixed, box grips bug fix and interaction cleanup, barrel grips bug fix and interaction cleanup, leader UI filtering bug fix, rotational drift while seated fix, and lastly bunny hopping jump reset fixed. They had some adjustments, and these adjustments for some levels were slightly adjusted to improve UX and optimization. Destructibility has been added to certain spawnables, Gashan balls are now destructible, environment seams were reduced, environment layout adjustments to prevent players from getting stuck. They had material corrections, music playback adjusted included placements and timing, ladder swap for lifts, arena gameplay optimization and adjustments, weapon choice and placements adjusted, ammo count reconfigured, missing colliders fixed in various levels, misassigned physics, materials, and impact properties, zone connection issues fixed in various levels, and occlusion bake issues fixed in various levels, light bake issues fixed in various levels, damage volumes now behave consistently. They also added gashapon machine or quicker in-game collecting, and lastly, create descriptions were added. They had some rendering and optimization fixes, as you guys can see there, some more level specific fixes, and UI updates. Now at the moment, that's pretty much all of patch 4 and everything that's inside the patch 4 ship notes for Bonelabs. And of course, do you actively play Bonelabs? Unfortunately, since I don't really play Bonelabs, I really can't show how these updates actually look in-game, unfortunately. But I really do hope that this video was still helpful in letting you guys learn what exactly is new inside this new patch 4 in Bonelabs. If you guys want to show up in a future Bonelabs video or other VR video, then feel free to join my Discord server so you guys can send me, news, footage, or clips of whatever you guys may think may be helpful to me. For example, if there's a new cool update like this on a VR game and you guys have that VR game and decide to send me clips, I'll use it for a video. But of course, people, that's basically been this entire Bonelabs video. Big shout out to Moofy for letting me know about the patch notes coming out on Steam and stuff like that. I love you so much, Moofy. And of course, if you guys haven't already, I would greatly appreciate a subscription or even a like to this actual video. Thank you guys so much, and if you guys have any sort of improvements for me, I will be looking at your guys' comments. And of course, bye!